All right, here I am again shooting the XS 24/7 big dot sights. This time, it's another thing I feel like I haven't shown that I get questions about. I did mention in my testing video where I just shot the Mozambique drill or failure drill, the 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. I said in that video that these sights, I purchased these sights for combat duty sights, defensive sights. They weren't really go to the range and plink and play sights. But the more I've gotten used to the sight picture, sight alignment aspect of the big dots, specifically sight alignment, I found that really you can go plink with them. You're not going to shoot bullseye at 50 yards with it, but what I've got out here is a 5-yard FBIQ target. Okay, so FBIQ target at 5 yards away from the fire line. I've got my XD40 tactical with the XS 24/7 big dots on it, the same weapon I've been using for all these demonstration videos. And on the target, I have got a 1 inch by 1 inch square target pasty. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see that, and I'm hoping that it'll stay zoomed in while I'm firing. And what I'm going to do is I've got a full magazine and 1 in the chamber, just some Freedom Munitions plated 180 grain flat point full metal jackets. And what I'm going to do is just throw an entire weapon's worth of ammo at that 1 inch square pasty, just like I'm at the range plinking. Maybe you and your buddy have got one of those battleship targets or something, and you're wondering, well, if I switch over to this XS big dots and I just want to go play with the gun at the range, and is it something that is going to limit me in that fashion? I don't think it is, but we'll find out. I'm going to shoot a 13 round group at a 1 inch square at 5 yards cold. Haven't shot today, hadn't shot in about 4 or 5 days, and let's just see what kind of playtime accuracy you can get out of these sights at this distance, at that small of a target. Hopefully the blast won't knock my camera down. It's hard to see the square at this distance behind the sight because it kind of covers it up. I'm really not checking my holes, I'm just reacquiring sight alignment and trusting the sights, which is what you should do anyway. And I'll just look at the holes later. Alright, 13 rounds. Okay, that's pretty decent. Let's run this back. Okay, so, I mean, once again, when you're shooting something with a big front sight, it's only going to be so precise. I mean, this is the weapon I'm using. There's kind of the sight picture that you're looking for right there. And at distance, in fact, I'll run that back out there, and I wonder, of course, I know the camera lens is not exactly the same as a person's eye. That's going to bobble around a little bit, but let me just see if I can. I know the sight picture is wrong because it should be the front sight in focus and not the rear. It's going to be hard to make the camera do that. See if I can maintain that. So you can kind of get an idea of how big that dot is on a 1 inch target pasty. I'm sorry the camera's bouncing around. This is just a cell phone. But, I mean, if you're just wanting to come to the range and play, I think you can do that with the XS big dot sights. I mean, no, like I said, you're not going to be shooting bullseye. Come on, camera, quit being stupid. You're not going to be shooting bullseye at 50 yards one-handed with this thing. But, that's 13 rounds at 5 yards just methodical shooting, not speed, obviously. Probably if you're plinking, I doubt you're even going to shoot that many rounds in a time without putting your gun down and kind of resetting or moving around or whatever. But I just wanted to put as many rounds as I can fit in my gun without an aftermarket magazine out the weapon at that distance at a small target, and just give you an idea of what it's capable of in terms of just plinking and shooting at something small. And for me, I'm happy with that. I mean, I don't need to shoot any smaller than that, even in playtime. It got a couple a little high here, and obviously the whole group is a little to the right. But like I said, you're covering up this much space with the front sight. So, I'm not really too much worried about the fact that it's off the sticker. But you look at the group, that's still a 1 inch group. Besides these two flyers, if you want to call them that. They're all still touching. It's still one big keyhole. But if you take away these two flyers, that's what, 12 rounds or 14 rounds? Well, let me see. Wait, I didn't have my aftermarket magazine, so I had 13 total. So that's, 11 rounds in a 1 inch, almost a perfect little 1 inch square. And if you want to throw those in there, I feel like, once again, that's plenty accurate enough for anything you want to do. If you want to come out here and plink and just play, shoot small groups and have a good time with that, you can still do that with those sights. You just have to really focus on the sight picture aspect, or really getting a perfect lollipop with that sight presentation. You're not really looking for perfection in sight picture when you're shooting combat anyway. You're getting close and get it in your target in the vital organ area. But when you're out here playing and you really want to see how small of a group you can shoot, then obviously that becomes a little bit more important. And it's the same principle as a regular notch and post sights. You just have to get the front sight where it's supposed to be in relation to the rear sight. Obviously that relation is different with notch and post versus a lollipop sight. But obviously I think it speaks for itself. On a 40 caliber duty firearm, this is not set up for competition or anything. This is what I carry. So it's plenty accurate enough for playtime. I've drugged this out long enough, so bye.